the victim role to satisfy my need to be right. Always feeling so alone, neglected by the men in my life. But they were just doing what I wanted. See, they were just giving what I gave. But now I want the real thing. So let it be a new path I pave.
Good afternoon, Ayanna.
Good afternoon.
I want to say, first of all, thank you for saying yes to SOS. SOS and the crew that's here today with me. I just want to share a little bit about SOS.
Okay.
We are, and our mission is to provide a sisterhood community with open space to express your whole single self. So today, we're here to celebrate Women's History Month. I didn't know it was Women's History Month. Someone had to tell me. I had another whole situation happening that I was going to do something else. And someone says, Gail, you know this is Women's History Month? I was like, oh, okay, I need to be in tune.
That's right.
So what I did, I went to sleep. I said, okay, God, I don't know what to do. And as God have it, he speaks to me in my dreams a lot. Mm-hmm. And so one morning I woke up and I said, Dr. E.Faye, history. And then I thought, what else can I do? And I thought legacy. Who better to get for legacy than Dr. Dick Gregory's daughter, Ayanna Gregory, who is carrying on the legacy. So we're going to get into that a little more. But I want to talk a little bit about what I feel about Miss Ayanna Gregory that I met some years ago through Pastor Jill, I believe in the Soul Factory, or it could have been at Dr. E.Faye, who is going to be one of our guests as well for history, yes. Dr. E.Faye Willliams, through one of her National Congress of Black Women brunches. I can't remember which came first, but either way, I still met you and your family through the Soul Factory.
Yes, indeed.
And Pastor Duran and Jill Cloud. So that I'm grateful for, right?
Yes.
So this is what I feel about you. I feel you embody the spirit of our ancestors. And your mother and your father.
Ashe.
And most importantly, you embody the spirit of love.
Thank you.
This is why you're such a special guest for me.
I received that.
Right?
Yeah.
You're part of the sisterhood now. So as I always tell my guests, welcome to Sold Out Single.
Thank you.
Welcome to the platform. Welcome to the conversation.
Thank you, sister. I'm honored that you chose me.
Oh my gosh. I can't even think of another person that I would just want to be in the room with to continue the legacy. I've been in the room with your dad. Yes. I've been in the room with your family when y'all gave a special tribute to your mom. Yes. And what's her name? The Ayanna?
Iyanla was the guest.
Yes, thank you. So I was there for that. And when I come around you, and I just feel spiritual even more.
Wow.
And I like that feeling.
That's good.
Yeah, that's what I feel. And you all who don't know, this is the daughter of the late civil rights activist, author, comedian, Dr. Dick Gregory.
Yes, indeed.
And one of the most dedicated women, wife, mother, and friend, Mrs. Lillian Gregory.
Yes, indeed.
This is Black. I was about to say Black History Month. This is Women's History Month, and I want to say your mother's name, Mrs. Lillian Gregory.
Yes.
I want to say Dr. E.Faye Willliams to my beautiful flower, Ayanna Gregory, and I also want to say who I call my woman king, Pastor Jill Cloud.
Ashe.
I want to say
thank you, Sister
name.
Gail,
Absolutely.
because you are among us as a shining queen. I love basking in your light. I am a reflection of you. So, Queen, Sister Gail, we celebrate you too in this moment.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, we do.
I love that. Okay, so as I would say to my other guests, let's jump right in.
Let's do it.
We got some questions. You know, some of my guests, they put me sometimes in a restraint box. I got some of my questions in advance. But I say, Ayanna, please give me just one question where we can leave open.
Absolutely.
So the spirit can flow.
Yeah,
and let's see how that goes. But never want to take them so off course that, you know, like, okay, Dr. E.Faye gonna hear this. She asked me something that wasn't on the sheet, and I couldn't come up with anything. I was like, oh my God, Dr. E.Faye. So now I understand why you all do it. I appreciate it even more. So my first question I want to ask Miss Ayanna Gregory, are you single?
That's a great question.
We laughing because it's an inside joke. We got an inside joke happening. We can't tell
Yes,
y'all.
indeed. So I am single, as in not married. Mm-hmm. I am dating someone.
Okay, wonderful.
So, yeah.
And you should be.
Yes. And I also will say this because, you know, I've never been married. Mm-hmm. I always imagined that I would be. Mm-hmm. I don't have any children biologically. I always imagined that I would.
We're twins.
Okay. And
never married, no children.
I had to grieve that because for me, I never imagined that I would not be married and not have children. And so even today when my little nieces and nephews say, Ayanna, you know, are you going to have any children? Are you going to get married? And so there was a time where that would have really been, it really would have been a hurtful reminder of what hadn't happened. But honestly, I feel like after my dad transitioned in 2017, I became so much more focused and dedicated and fulfilled with the journey of the continuation of their legacy, he and my mom, mm-hmm. that I didn't feel like anything was missing anymore.
Wow, that's so great. That's so wonderful. I never heard it expressed that way, like you grieved what you didn't have.
Yeah. That
you imagined that you would have.
Yeah.
That's so profound to me. And maybe I need to think about that for myself too, mm-hmm. because I could sometimes just go, mm-hmm. and not take a moment. And every now and again, I would say, oh yeah, it would be nice, you know,
right.
to be in a relationship. It would be nice,
right.
you know, because I wanted to be married and I wanted to have children. And I would say periodically that God has given me nieces and nephews.
Yes.
He's given me little kids in the church that I've gotten attached to.
Mm-hmm.
I have a big goddaughter who's 40. And now I have a new little goddaughter who's Pastor Jill's granddaughter,
wow.
Zuri. So now I have another baby that I can give all that attention to.
Yes.
And give all that love to.
Yes.
That I wanted to.
Absolutely.
And you know, and people don't know this, but I'll share this. And I had a miscarriage years ago.
Wow.
So I grieved that, but I never thought to grieve what I had imagined. And I think I like that. I'm going to think about that a little
Absolutely.
more. I appreciate that. Thanks for sharing that.
Absolutely.
All right. I think this question is so simple, but I think it is so deep. Who are you? And you can think about that because it's a simple question, but it can be a deep question.
It is.
Like, who are you?
Yeah. And honestly, I think the answer would change upon any given day. In this moment, Ayanna is a spiritual being on an extraordinary journey. I'm a storyteller. I'm an artist. I am a healer, a medicine woman of sorts. I am a daughter, a sister, an auntie, a freedom fighter, a continuation of my parents' legacy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You embody all of that. I see all of that. I've experienced some of that with you, in the room with you.
Yes.
Yes. For those who don't know, Sister Ayanna blessed us in Cambridge, Maryland. I think it was 2019.
That was so good.
Yes, wasn't it?
It was. It was.
Oh my God. It was at Jill Cloud's women's conference. And we had it 2019, I think it was November. And I thought, okay, I'm used to doing her conferences, coordinating and helping with all that. Mm-hmm. But something happened there.
It was so powerful.
Yes.
It was really powerful. And to be honest, what I remember is that my nephew had just died, and I did not think that I would be able to come, and Spirit said, go for you.
Wow.
Go. And the way that y'all surrounded me, I couldn't have prepared myself for what I received. When sisters gather, powerful healing happens intentionally and unintentionally.
Yes.
That's what happens. And so Spirit said, go. I'm telling you to go. And baby, I cried. Y'all cried.
Yeah, I was on the phone telling you, don't come.
Yes, you did.
Saying, oh my God, take care of that.
it was by far the most painful moment of our family's life, I would say. Or I should just say one of the most. And I didn't know who I was anymore. And Spirit said, go. You said, take care of yourself, but Spirit said, go. And oftentimes, doing the work that we do as healers and educators and speakers and, pastors and just people who choose to move to inspire those around us, those who choose to walk in the light. Sometimes we don't know that what it is that we're going to is just as much for us as it is for the intended audience.
I absolutely agree.
I know that now. And I look forward to it now.
Yes.
Yeah.
I knew this session was going to be spiritual. Like, I knew it. I had to prepare myself to go in another whole realm, because I just so knew that once you walk into the light and then you bring in the light with the other light.
Yes.
Because oftentimes we're the light that have to go to the darkness to pull those in the darkness out. That's why we're healers and educators. And as Pastor Jill say, we're each other's soulmate.
Yes.
And we raise the consciousness of people, the awareness of it, so we can bring it up and bring their levels up.
Yes, indeed.
Right?
Yeah.
And so now when you're in a room full of light and like-minded people, every now and again it's like going to a gas station getting filled up.
Yeah.
So we need that.
We do.
So we could be refreshed and replenished. And we have to go around our sisters to pull on strength where I'm weak. And then I leave from here, I'm like, I'm empowered. I'm going to save the world.
Exactly.
That's how I feel sometimes.
Yeah.
And when I met Michelle Obama, I felt that I'm going to go do something. I don't even know what, but I want to do something great.
Infectious.
When you're around greatness, you want to not be different. You don't want to be minute anymore in your thinking.
Right.
In your doing.
Right.
I want to go and do more. I want to be more.
Yes.
And not be more for me, as you say, God would do that part. I want to be more for Him, for who He sends me out to, because I have to meet someone. Everywhere I go, I'm going to meet who God has an appointed time for me to meet.
Yes.
I have to be ready.
Yes.
Have to be in the right spirit, and I have to be on call. Like doctors and police officers and all these public servant people on call. We too are on call. Middle of the night, you might get a phone call. Wake up. Somebody's going through. Can I just talk to you? I might be grouchy, but go ahead. I'm going to be available.
Right. Absolutely.
And I like that.
Yeah.
So since we're honoring women in history, I want you to think about women. Who's the first one come to your mind?
The first one that comes to my mind is my mama. My mother. Lillian Estelle Gregory. The first one that comes to mind is my mom. She birthed 11 babies. I was on the phone with her. I talk to her usually every day. And sometimes she'll say, did I really have 11 babies? Did I really marry Dick Gregory? Did I really travel the world? Did I really, sit up in jail any number of times, pregnant in the movement? 8 months pregnant with twins down in Selma, Alabama, down in Mississippi. Did I really? And not to mention all that they did outside of the country, even outside of the civil rights movement. I mean, they were on missions in Germany, in Russia, in London, in Africa. In any number of countries in Africa. I know Africa is not a country, okay?
That's amazing, because it's things we could never know. It's not written. You all know. Just like we don't know the whole story of Jesus, because all of that couldn't be written.
Yes.
So this is good to know, because this is why it's so important as you carry on the legacy, and we talk about legacy, which I think is so great. You know this. They don't teach all this in the schools.
Yes.
And they're trying to stop some of this stuff in the schools for us to learn about our own history.
Yes.
Our own families, our own ancestors. Why can't I know that?
Absolutely.
And I'm glad that you were able to take what you learned from your mom and dad. I'm glad God embodied you with that. So you could carry this on.
Yes. And there's something to be said about the oral tradition. I think there's so much in today's day that attempts to eliminate the African oral tradition that we've always had. There's so much history that's happened that you'll never see in the history books, right? And so speaking of my mom, you know, not only was she Dick Gregory's wife, not only was she taking care of every aspect of his life, not only was she raising 10 babies, not only was she keeping us safe, you know, we're talking about a time in the 1950s, 60s, and 70s, because there's a large range of us. My oldest sister was born in the late 50s, and then my youngest brother was born in 1971. So we're talking about from the late 50s.
Wow.
You know, just our birth.
Right.
And then all the way, you know, decades that followed, you know, there was a target on my father's back, which meant there was a target on us.
Yes.
You know, he was a public enemy of the state, not because he was dangerous, but because he was speaking the truth, which of course was dangerous.
Right.
In an environment where they were suppressing that. He was teaching black people to love themselves. He was telling the truth about everything. And so my mother was there not only just to protect us, to take care of us and take care of him, but she was on the front line too.
Yes.
That's what people don't know.
Right.
She was literally on the front line as well. Pregnant.
Wow.
You know, holding little babies, holding toddlers.
Right.
You know, during the Vietnam War in 1969, my mother and father, they were given a tape for which they knew they could have been killed. This was during the Vietnam War. They received a tape from a friend of theirs of the My Lai massacre. That was a video showing innocent men, women, and children in South Vietnam being murdered by U.S. Army soldiers. The U.S. government knew about it, but they were attempting to suppress it. They did not want it to reach this country, any news of it. So my mother flew by herself from London to Paris, Paris to Montreal, Montreal to Toronto, and Toronto to Chicago with that footage. 2 men followed her on every flight. She didn't eat because she knew she would have been poisoned.
Okay.
She had never been so scared in her life. And so she brings this footage into the country. The U.S. government realizes now that Dick Gregory's family has this footage in the country and is going to come out with it. So now they're forced to break the story.
Wow.
You'll never see it in a history book, but that this quiet black woman who didn't even want you to know her name helped to change the trajectory of history. This was footage that would help to eventually end the Vietnam War. This sister brought it in the country.
That's why I speak her name.
Let us
Mrs.
speak her
Lillian,
name.
what's her middle name?
Estelle.
Mrs. Lillian Estelle Gregory.
Ashe.
I speak your name and I honor you.
We honor you, Mama.
Thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely.
You all just went to school. You just got educated. That is not in your history book.
No, ma'am.
A lot of the truth isn't. But thank you for living that truth and bringing it out to us. We appreciate you. Oh my gosh. What makes you tick?
Woo! So many things.
Well, let me start with what ticks you off.
Oh. A lot. I would say, you know, 2 things that I would say really bother me, even, I want to be very transparent, even as they show up in myself.
Okay.
Cowardice and apathy.
Yes.
I can't stand it. And the ways in which I have seen cowardice show up in me, it's been difficult to live with that.
Okay.
And then, of course, I would have an opportunity to do something about it. I can't tell you how many times I didn't say something because I was afraid to. And it was eating me up. And then eventually I had an opportunity to do something about it. Apathy really bothers me. And because we are in a culture that breeds apathy, you have people who will videotape somebody getting hurt before they will help somebody getting hurt. That incenses me. I can't tell you how much that bothers me. Followers. The whole idea of just following along, going with the flow, even if it's not in alignment with who we are, that bothers me. And so when I talk to kids, I travel the world talking to young people, I speak to that part of them that's afraid to just be themselves, because we have like a small percentage. If you go to any school, right, and you say, oh, who are the bullies? It's a small percentage who are doing the bullies, and it's probably a small percent who are just, you know, doing all the right things all the time. But that middle group, followers, they just go with the flow, and so they are the most important and potentially important and dangerous group.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
I
And
do.
so it for me, I want us to think for ourselves and move with courage. And I'm talking to myself as well. But the thing that ticks me off about me at times and ticks me off when I see it in the world is cowardice and apathy, you know, because I really want us to be able to step into a place where, look, we don't know what the repercussions of our truth is, but at the end of the day, it is our truth, and the Most High gonna guide us and protect us from whatever the wrath is that may come from us really just flat-footed, telling it like it is, and doing it the way that we really want to do it on the inside.
Oh, and y'all hear that? Passion.
Yeah.
This is what I'm talking about. In sync with that, what ticks me off is injustice. Flip the coin, and what makes me tick is justice.
Ashe.
This is why I understand what you're saying. I get it. For those who, I see something going wrong, I'm probably going to speak up.
Do something about it.
Yes.
Say something.
Because I've been there too. I've been quiet. And what Dr. King say, there's a time when silence is a betrayal.
There you go.
So when I read that, I said, oh, let me start speaking up.
Absolutely.
Let me start talking. And just a little short story. It's little and it's small, but I think it might have an impact on the child because I was in, Popeye's Chicken. I said it. I was Popeye's Chicken. And this young lady was hitting her son side the head. I was in Edgewood. Should you ever see this tape, young lady, prayerfully, perhaps, hopefully, he didn't get beat no more. But he was getting hit side the head, and my sister's with me. So she saw the look on my face. She moved to another line. So I don't know that people, because I'm Gail about to say something.
That's right.
And I said, God, please help me. You know, because there are times I do pray, Lord, let me mind my business.
Right.
Because I see something. And so I said, okay, I'm going to just be quiet. But she, as the universe would have it, had to come over my way and get some tissue. I was like, oh my God, the Lord's bringing it over here. He's bringing it over here.
Right.
And I said, excuse me, ma'am. I said, ma'am, have you ever been hit in the head? I said, because it hurts. I said, you're hitting your son in the head and you're telling him to be quiet. He can't because it hurts.
Right.
And she said, well, he's bad. And I paused for a moment. I said, you know what? There are two truths on the table here. He may be bad, but it also hurts getting hit in the head. And everybody was looking at him, so it had to be embarrassing. But he was looking at me like, oh my gosh, she in trouble with my mama.
Right.
But I took a stand, and all the people was looking at her, hitting this little boy. And so she, when she finished getting her tissue, and I said, I just want to thank you for letting me mind your business. And so my sister, she said, I think he might get a beating tonight. I said, not tonight.
No, he's not. No, no, I agree with you.
She's going to hear my voice tonight.
Absolutely.
I can't speak for the other days, but that day,
absolutely,
I think a change might have happened.
And he heard someone standing for him.
Yes, like she talking to my mother. Like,
yeah, they both remembered that.
If he thought his mom was the big bad wolf or something, like I can't say nothing. Absolutely. There was a protector and a healer came.
Absolutely,
came through.
That's powerful.
Right?
Yeah.
Because that's who we are called to be.
You were his guardian angel that day.
Right.
Yeah, really.
So I am with you with that. Let's do something. Let's be something. Let's be who God called us. We're protectors of each other. Let's do that.
Yes. Now, may I say what makes me tick?
Yes.
Okay. So I would say too is the opposite of injustice. The opposite of cowardice and apathy is justice. Is stepping into your truth. What makes me tick? Young people. Because they're so authentic, especially the little ones, you know, who have not been taught that they can't just do and be whatever it is that they come up with in that moment. They operate in the now. They ain't waiting for tomorrow. Yes. You know what I'm saying? They make me tick. They're so beautiful. They're so naturally forgiving. They don't hold grudges. I love being around young people. And I remember just recently my brother Johante's daughter, Akoma, she's 6. And Akoma was like, I was just thinking, because they were out and they saw a homeless man who asked for money, and it really bothered her. Now, we've been conditioned to walk past homeless people every day. Oh, it's just normal. Yeah. She was like, wait a minute, why are we walking past him? He needs money. And then she thought, it really bothered her. And then she said, I was just thinking, you know, money is just made up. Somebody made money. Like, why don't we just do away with money and then we could just give each other the things we need? If I have something you need, or if you have something I need.
Wow.
Now, we know that's not a new concept in the world, but it was new for her. And she came up with it all on her own from a spirit of everybody should get to win. Everybody should get to be okay.
I so love that.
That's the stuff that makes me tick. When I see these things happening in young people's minds, that is pretty much the antithesis of what, you know, the Western world has taught us, and all the craziness that's going on in the world. And then you see young people with these young minds that are smiling and laughing and forgiving and not holding grudges and running and skipping and being happy in the midst of it all. Not to say they don't have moments where they're crying or upset, but then they jump right back into being joyful, into being into motion. So young people make me tick. The idea of love, of forgiveness, of really just people who really want to make healing and goodness cool again. You know what I'm saying? Like that makes me tick. That really, I love the idea that, like, this ain't corny. Like, do you know how gangster you got to be in 2023 to move with unconditional love, to move with forgiveness?
I'm about to raise my hand.
That is some gangster stuff.
I'm in church. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So that makes me tick. The other thing that makes me tick is when I am in the presence of unabashed spiritual manifested fire in a human that is living their life out, living out loud. You know, so individuals like Dick Gregory, watching him move, knowing that he was given such a specific and divine and anointed path, and that he was up for it. Seeing that happening in motion, seeing that, and then we talk about us being each other's reflection. That not like, oh wow, that's amazing over there. No, that if I can see it, that means it's also in me.
Wow.
So that makes me tick. I mean, I'm feeling goosebumps right now just thinking about when I used to watch my father on stage speaking.
And if you just stop sometime and figure out, it's a universal intelligence. 13's an unlucky number. You heard that before. 13's an unlucky number. No place in the world had 13 unlucky number but America. Why? It was the 13th Amendment that freed you. And it convinced you it's unlucky.
He wasn't even my father in that moment. I was just in awe. Like, what is this thing? Who is this man? What is this spirit, this God voice coming through him that I could just feel tingling? I don't care if I saw this man speak 50,000 times. Every time it got me, because it reflected that same thing in me. That same thing in me. That makes me tick. I see it in, you know, brilliant musicians like Stevie Wonder, and then also in folks who the world doesn't even know, but that who took something from the Most High, took a gift and said, I could use this gift for anything I want to, but I am going to use it to help my environment better than I found it. That part. You know, not just the gift, but the awareness of the gift and the awareness to use that gift to vibrate higher and take everybody else with you. That makes me tick. That makes me tick.
It's hard to make me speechless. I'm quiet right now. When I get quiet, I'm in church. I'm in the presence of the Lord. Thank you. That's so wonderful and powerful.
Yes, ma'am.
And it couldn't come from no better person than you, the offspring of that kind of power, that kind of fire. I had a segment called This Girl's on Fire. I'm gonna have to do part 2. I'm gonna have to get a few more guests to come in. I'm gonna have to do a part 2.
Yes, ma'am.
Because this girl is on fire.
Ashe.
And I know it when I see it. I know it when I feel it, because I am fire.
Yes, you are.
So I'm gonna say something.
Okay.
And I just want you to just say whatever comes to your mind.
Okay.
See what do I have? Oh, first I want to ask you, what's 3 core values?
Ooh.
Because we always talk about core values on SOS.
Yes.
So what are your 3 core values?
Love.
I do 5, but
Okay.
go ahead. Love.
Love.
All right.
Freedom. Joy.
Girl, our mothers and fathers you're my twin. Somebody done something, they ain't tell us.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, indeed.
Come through.
Yes.
Come on, twin.
Oh, this is another whole level. You definitely coming back. And I want to get your niece too, because I'm doing a spinoff called Sold Out Sister, Little Sister.
Oh.
Sold Out Little Sister. I want to get her.
Yes.
So I already interviewed my first guest, my wonderful goddaughter Zuri. So I already taped her.
Wow.
So I want to get your before I kick it off, I'm gonna back up a little bit on that and get her in there.
She will love that.
Oh yeah, we about to do that. We're gonna add that on. See, this is why you gotta leave the whole space open for impromptu. Never know. So I'm gonna say this. Let me see where I put I got some notes, Ayanna.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say it, and you. I'm gonna say the word, but I want you to sing it. Just a bar.
Okay, you're gonna say the word and I'll sing it.
Now.
Now.
Go ahead and sing that next verse. What's your song?
Oh, you want me to sing?
Give me a bar.
Oh, a bar of my song. Okay, got you. I know that I want more. What am I waiting for? I think I'm ready now. Forget what they told me. World can't hold me now.
I need some tissue. I'm so gonna cry.
She is not playing. Now you're gonna make me go and listen.
Okay. In 1932.
1932, somehow Mama knew God had a plan for you. With the light around your head, some tried to hurt you, but you made them laugh instead. I love you, Daddy.
From hunger strike
to war on drugs, taking home the corporate thugs. You went to jail 1,000 times, exposing white supremacy crimes. From human rights to eating right, you led the world into the light. A universal God force. Information is your power source. Fire starter, innovator, peacekeeper, magic maker, actor, author, philosopher, comedian, warrior, soul survivor, golden son, freedom fighter, chosen one, living legend, the coolest, yeah. See the world still caught up with you, yeah. No.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can I share something?
Girl, yes.
I want to share a little piece of the song that I wrote for my mama.
You know, I was going to ask you that, but I thought I ran out of time. So please.
Let me do it. All right. 10 babies that she raised and they wonder why she had to be at 10 places at the same time. You can't tell me that this here woman can't fly. She's the rock, the power source they didn't see. She didn't want the credit, so she passed it down to me. But deep down, she's the root holding up this tree. If she don't talk about what she been through, and she don't brag about all the things she do, but you can see the light in her eyes. She talks soft but got a heart that goes from here to the sky. Mama, this one's for you, so you can see you from my view. A woman so beautiful, a love indescribable. Mama, this one's for you. Mama, so beautiful. Without you, what would I do? Yeah. Mama, this one's for you, you. Lillian Estelle Smith Gregory. This one's for you, Mama.
I salute you, Ayanna Gregory.
Thank you.
For Women History Month and being a woman of legacy.
Thank you.
SOS, we salute you.
Thank you.
Afraid of my destiny. Who am I to live to be? The universe keeps blessing me. But every single time I renege, filled with insecurity, sabotaging royalty, planned mediocrity, yeah. self-fulfilled prophecy, afraid to let them see who is she.